to show up.
Sorry, there was a cat in a tree, and the fire department is on. They're all on paternity and maternity and.
Consider this.
I hadn't considered that. Let's see
I
here.
haven't think so. You don't strike me as the type.
Oh wait, should I not? Hmm.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he should not. Good to know that your head's in the same place.
Okay, I just realized something about something I want to send to you,
Okay.
which is that, like, I it has other tabs in here that have extreme.
Oh my gosh, you're going full robot.
Oh no. How do I sound?
Well, you sound better now. What were you? What was any of what you just said?
Oh, I realized that there's some mega spoilers that I know you wouldn't want to see. Um, so I want to send you this sheet, this Google Excel sheet, so we
Mega
can look over
spoilers
it
for
today.
like the D&D game.
Yeah. So wait, hold on.
Just send it to me with the spoilers, and then Summer becomes a prophet and work that into it somehow.
Okay, so you see this, right?
That's had to have happened, right?
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, I see it. I'm imagining a DM accidentally sends one player like story beats, and he's like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
wait, I have an idea."
That does sound like it. Okay, so I want to send you this sheet because it has my big list here. But down
Okay,
here, uh, three of these tabs are what you would not want to see, and it's just the one titled spells that you do want to look at.
okay, okay. I understand what you're saying,
Got it?
but
Okay.
consider this.
Let me see here. That changes things. So that should be available to you when you click on it.
Oh my gosh, it's the best stream theater song off of their 1996 album Awake. Why are you clicking on it? Let me stop watching. You're like, don't click the thing, and then you click the thing. How do I open this? Oh, you click it. Okay, spells. Here we are.
All right. So we have here. I sorted all of the spells in the book into three groups.
Mhm.
We have combat spells, spells that pretty
Oh,
much are. Hmm?
I see you.
You see me?
I see you doing things. It says Ivley and a green box shows up
Oh
whenever you're
wow.
clicking somewhere. Like if I click, can you see me?
I do not.
That's because I'm probably. Oh wait, no, I am signed in. You should be able to see me. Oh no, I'm also you.
Oh,
No, wait, I'm clicking chill touch right now.
I think for that to work, I'd have to like make you a
Oh,
collaborator.
don't do that. Fix the spelling on message though.
Message, message,
Any
message.
commending?
Oh no, I misword that E. Our country, we can't even afford E's anymore.
Most expensive letter.
Okay, so combat is pretty much any spell that you can't feasibly use in times other than like after initiative has been rolled. So, poison spray, chill touch, firebolt, these are all just straight up damage spells, and then stuff like blade ward, which is straight up defense from attacks.
Yes.
Combat utility spells are somewhere in between where they definitely have a main combat usage, but they have some sort of thing that can be used outside of combat. For instance, you use Thorn Whip to grab the little goblin blacksmith from running away, and I think, or maybe you use like Entangle or something.
I used Entangle.
Entangle, yeah.
But yeah, same
But yeah,
same difference.
so Produce
I
Flame
know
can
what you're
do fire
saying.
damage, but it's also a fire starter / light source. Vicious Mockery can do damage, but it can also have kind of utility um, things. And then
Yeah.
utility spells are purely not. Well, some of them could be used in combat, of course. Lots of them could probably be used in combat, of course, but they can also totally have
Their main purpose
good
is
and fun
clearly not
use.
combat.
Yeah, outside of just fighting each other. So the first thing I noticed putting this thing together is it's a lot closer to 50-50 than I expected of combat to utility. So that was an interesting find.
Doesn't that still sound kind of messed up?
It does seem a little messed up. And also a lot of the spells, right? A lot of the utility spells are just like this, but as it goes up, more powerful. So like a disguise self, and then there's like some kind of stronger disguise self as it gets bigger. There's like minor illusion, major illusion, mega
Yeah.
illusion. Um, Things like expeditious retreat, haste, more things. So a lot of it is just repeats but being slightly better as it goes on for these things.
Yeah.
There's not as much variety as it might originally seem. Um, and for the utility spells, I also realized a huge portion of the classes that have mainly utility spells is Bard, which probably what makes Bard so great is all the fun
Love
stuff they
Bard.
can do. Like huge percentages of the utility spell list for each level are Bard
Bard.
spells.
Yeah. Bard and clerics. Um, or a lot of them look like cleric spells.
Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead and explain the bottom. I was gonna go through all the classes and list the abilities you get, what's utility versus combat, but pretty much everything you get from classes are purely combat things. Down at the very bottom, underneath where I gave up on fighter, I've listed here, if you can see what I've selected, like pretty much the only non combat things that you get from a class, which are jack of all trades / expertise. So we were talking about skills, I think, last time about how being good at them's good.
Yeah. Reliable talent should be a class feature on everyone
Yeah.
rather than just
Oh yeah,
rogue.
reliable talent. That was another one. So this first one just kind of related to skills. The second one, wild shape. Obviously, there's a lot of combat uses, but there's a lot of really great. You can be a frog and hop around, or a spider, or a bird, or
Yeah. Or a
uh,
swarm of rats.
yeah. This doesn't really make sense. Wild magic surge, just something that happens.
Yeah. These
Um,
things come up.
the warlock then also has the you get like a spell book, you get a familiar, you get a special magic sword, and then some eldritch invocations. That so they have a little bit of utility things they get from their class, but pretty much every single thing that classes do, and I hadn't realized it, is combat based.
My
So
bard is the best.
yeah, so I realized that a lot of the utility stuff, like you said with David's pouches, a lot of the utility and creative things that happen are from magic items, tools, and other items.
Yeah, that makes sense because
Uh,
there's so many just wild magic items.
like as simple as like the rogue getting thieves tools, right? Is such a game
Yeah,
changer. It changes your whole style of play. A lot of the tools probably aren't very useful. Like there's like, 7 different artisan tools that wouldn't come up very much, but definitely could. Um, like potter's tools or jeweler's tools. But you could imagine like painting something Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote style, or
yeah.
yeah.
You can picture some non-combat uses for some of the spells you have there, but yeah, most of it's just going to be combat.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you can use Thunder Wave to move boulders and stuff, or just other heavy objects that no one else can move.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Hail of Thrones.
What,
This is a
what
lot
level
of
is that?
writing. I'm amazed so many of these are spelled correctly. This is not how consistent it would be if I made this. 'Hail of Thrones is 28 far left.
28. Hail of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't know. I think part of it's also just trying to find the utility in the spells you have, but like, yeah, overwhelmingly the classes are just geared for combat,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense because it basically just started as a almost combat exclusive game.
Mm-hmm. I did learn about a lot of Tensor's floating disk.
What level?
Uh,
Give me
it
a number.
is
Give me.
it is the last level 1 utility spell. And it you know what Tensor's floating disk does?
I don't think I've ever had it.
It
I'm
creates
guessing it creates a floating disk.
it creates a floating disk that stays 20 feet away from you at all times and uh, is mainly used to carry gold. Was its original purpose.
That makes sense. Oh, it's a wizard spell. That explains why I've never seen it. That's, I mean, there's a lot of cool little spells like that. But it's like when, first of all, you have to have a game where you have to worry about stuff like gold and carry weight,
Mm-hmm.
which we don't have. Second of all, you have to have a wizard. Third of all, you have to remember that you have it. These are, I am surprised it's as close to 50-50 as it is, but did you do like a total anywhere on the sheet?
Oh no, I didn't. Do some quick math. Oh, I have to be right back. I gotta do a few things real quick.
Okay. At last, I meet the famous Jackie Chan. Me, Jackie. Are you pulling up the ending of a movie I've never seen?
Oh, were you planning on seeing Police Story?
I did actually buy it recently,
Oh, really?
but
Well,
you can play this. I'm assuming you're not going to play the whole 6 minute
no,
clip.
we'll just go like this is just like one part of the 9 minute ending.
Yeah,
And it won't spoil anything besides Jackie
Jackie
Chan
Chan
hasn't
fights some
died yet.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There he is going crazy, very much in control.
yep.
Oh, gonna beat up now, though. So if that went on for too long, this would be a little bit boring. Of just punch, block, returning.
Yeah.
But then unexpected thing. Uh-oh. The tide's turning.
Yeah, there's always got to be back.
Yeah. Oh, now things are looking bad. And then new thing introduced. And then, it changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if it was just like this part the whole time,
Jackie.
like people, being good at what they're doing, but going back and forth like this.
Yeah.
That would be
One of the
interesting.
best examples of this, honestly, is I used to think it was really cool when I was a kid, but growing up, you start to realize how just like drawn out it is. Let me look it up. I'm sure I can find a clip. Yeah, there's a 9-minute fight scene in in the last Star Wars movie that George Lucas made. No, there's like an 8-minute fight scene altogether with only two characters, and they're both just like they're perfectly matched throughout like the entire thing. And as a kid, it's super cool. And it is pretty interesting, but it just goes on for way too long with nothing happening.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Chan. He really is one of the best examples.
Mm-hmm.
You could also pull up there's one of my favorite action scenes in the first John Wick is like that,
Mm.
which is part of the reason I didn't really like most of the sequels as much. I mean, they're still good, but
But yeah,
play it if you want. Go ahead. No,
I've only
not that. Not wait. I didn't mean the John Wick scene. I meant this one. If you were ready to play it, but
I was looking for it. I hadn't found it yet.
okay.
I'll just say I've only seen the first Avengers movie, and I only saw it like a decade ago, so I don't really remember it. But something I have heard about the fight scenes in those movies is that it will just be like, okay, we've gone on for a story, now we're gonna have like a fight section, but it's just kind of it's the superheroes destroying faceless bad guys for a period.
That's all it is.
And it's not very interesting.
They
But it's just
suck.
like, yeah, like I recently edited a video for someone who played like a Spider-Man video game.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of it was just kind of like Spider-Man going around like kicking people.
I mean, that isn't that like a lot of Elden Ring?
Stakes, maybe. It's almost just
Oh,
like an extended
you went
button
robot
mashing
again.
cut. Oh. I guess it's just that it's like an extended button mashing cutscene, right? There's not like,
Oh, well, yeah,
there's not
that's a
really
little
an
different.
ebb and flow to it.
Yeah. He made a video for that Spider-Man game, and he got into one of those cutscenes, and it was just like button prompts on the screen. And the joke he had was, hang on, let me just see if I can find it and clip it.
Clip it. Clip it. Clip that.
I hope this is what you were talking about.
I am playing the clip in 3, 2, 1 now.
Can do this. I played neck. Oh no! Now I'm really gonna have to hit square.
Now I'm really gonna have to hit square.
Now I'm really gonna have to hit square.
But yeah, it's like
combat.
if
go
Elden Ring was all fighting the horde of putrid corpses at the start of Caelid.
Game of the year material. If Putrid Corpse in Elden Ring was a boss in DS1, it would be a top 10 boss.
Okay, so here, quickly part 2, and then we're gonna bring the two things together and get a conclusion like a good essay.
Oh.
The other element
go.
of fighting scenes, which I don't know how well can translate to D&D, but I'm bringing it to the table here, is something discussed in that famous Every Frame of Video Jackie Chan video.
Every frame of video.
Oh, whoops. Every video a frame. Every painting a channel. Is that so much of what makes Jackie Chan's scenes interesting is the environment and props being used.
Yep.
Like if he was just doing these things on flat ground, like a lot of scenes are and a lot of D&D combat is, it would not be the same. So if we just like go through here, like all the different props and terrain being used. We have a big vase with water in it. We have a coat hanger. We have being pinned up to the ceiling. The big desk gets involved. It moves. It's stuck in the vest. Now we have a statue. We have a chair.
This is honestly... This is a good example of why I have a lot of issues with the improvised weapon rules in D&D.
And even just like him jumping up on the ledge right here. But yeah, here, speak on that improvised weapon rules. Every frame an improvised weapon.
Aren't improvised weapons rules like stupid?
Where it's all the same and just like a bad weapon.
It's just a bad weapon.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, it wants me to buy the 2024 player's hand. There's a new one? Oh my god.
Did it release?
Evidently. Well, it's not 6e. It's just... Wait, is it 6e? No, it's 5th edition. It's just the 2024 version of it. New character option.
Is that
Stunning
like
artwork.
5.5
Fresh and engaging game. Is it? Is there a 5.5e?
I don't know much about it, but I feel like the way I've heard it being talked about is that it's more of a 5.5e than a 6e.
No, it just says 5. It just says 5th edition.
Ah,
I don't really care. Anyway, I couldn't click on the thing until the thing. I don't have my player handbook with me.
oh, wait. Let's see. I think I could probably find it. I have mine right here. Let's see. Customization. Nope. Need equipment. Probably. Or would it be under actions?
Improvised weapon. Here we go.
Oh, you got it?
An improvised weapon includes any object you can wield with 1 or 2 hands, broken glass, a table leg, etc. Character proficient. Okay, yeah. An object that bears no resemblance to a weapon deals 1d4 damage.
Yeah.
But, like, a statue? How literal do we want to be with this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like, like one of the most famous kind of settings for a D&D fight is like a tavern brawl scene.
We've never done that.
And we've never done it, but if you can't imagine like flipping a table on someone or knocking over a statue on someone and
Yeah.
it only doing D4 damage.
Well, I mean, honestly, in a bar fight, like if you're going full on fisticuffs, 1d4 might be all you want to do, or else everybody's gonna die.
I guess that's true. But yeah, like not being able to creatively use things like that and just being stuck to, the fighter just making their same weapon attack with extra attack and then action surge 4 times in a row. Did I hit? No. Did I hit? No. Like I want to be like
Fighter experience. Did I hit? Nope. 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 Yeah, I hit 3 damage. All right.
you want to be like Jackie Chan and run up the staircase and then grab onto the chandelier and swing on the chandelier and then go back to the top of the staircase. And then kick the guy off the staircase.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. That's a good image.
Yeah. So I guess bringing it together here, the idea is because we're thinking about the magic items and well, not the magic, the spells, because a big part of it is how do we make combat more interesting and how do we enjoy the outside of combat part, which is really amazing, the part of D&D more betterer.
I'm Jackie Chan, and the
You're
guy on the
Jackie
left just asked me about 5th edition combat rules.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, so is there a way to incorporate one having the feeling of who it feels like is in control, who it feels like is going to win, switching back and forth and keeping people on edge? And 2, is there a way to better incorporate terrain, objects, surrounding items, props into the equation? And I don't know if that just works for the visual medium or if there can be a further theater of the mind kind of thing going on along with on the grid combined that can lead to some interesting combat scenarios.
I have mixed feelings about the grid.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of me feels like fights could be more interesting if instead of pulling out the grid for combat, you just sort of did a narrative fight and then acted on everything within reason.
Yeah.
Like, I want to run up to him. Like, well, are you within 30 feet? Let me check. Or just like, I want to run up to him. You're probably too far away. Oh, okay.
Like, can't you imagine like this scenario happening in D&D? Climbing up a flagpole.
Yeah.
Handcuffed. What
Make an
interesting
athletics
scenario.
check.
Like, this is a much more into that part of D&D that we love so much. The strange things that happen and how it kind of spirals out of control from things we didn't expect. Like, oh yeah, my
Yeah, that's
rogue just like got a 20 on the acrobatics check, climbed up the flagpole in handcuffs, jumped in the window. Yeah. And they made a sick beat on the
I'm Jackie Chan, and I just heard somebody behind me talk about fifth edition combat rules. I don't know. How many times can I make this joke?
Yeah. Did you know when Jackie Chan fell from this, his scream was real because he broke his toe?
No.
That's a little Lord of the Rings joke there for you.
I don't know. I've never seen the Lord of the Rings.
What was the John Wick scene you were talking about?
Not sure what it will be called. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Let me be the guy. I'll stream it. I'll pull it up. I'll do all the.
Okay.
Is this gonna be in is this gonna be HD? Yeah, this is 4K. How are you streaming 10 minutes of John Wick in 4K and not getting taken down? Why are there Russian subtitles? Oh no, we're good. No? Yeah, there's. Is this good enough? It's kind of violent. Are you okay with violence? How do you feel about violence?
No, yeah, it's okay for
This is an
research
R-rated
purposes.
movie. R-rated. How do I? Okay, you had volume. Did you share screen or did you stream
I streamed a specific window. I'm pretty sure it's the
application?
display capture that doesn't capture audio. So yeah, you'd have to capture your window for audio.
See if this does it. Don't look at the recommendations. This is the channel account, so it's all gonna be trash.
This is the no judgment zone. This is the YouTube doesn't know what to suggest you.
Oh wait, this is just all fight scenes and just the two of us, but where are they all coming
Okay.
from?
Judgment
We're good.
has started. In quotation mark, I mean, in parentheses, positive.
Okay, can you hear this?
Uh, Wait, I might have it muted on Discord. Hold on.
See if you have it muted.
And play it. I do
Can you hear
not
it?
hear it. No.
God. You hate. Okay, wait. What did you click? Walk me through your process.
Okay.
Share screen,
Share your screen,
applications,
applications, and then
nightclub scene,
yeah, I click.
John Wick. Notify friends, also share application audio. I have it checked. Are you sure you don't have it turned too far down?
I've turned it all the way up now. No, I don't hear it.
Is it trying to pull up those two videos? It doesn't matter. I don't guess.
Here, I can just make the
I'm,
noises for it.
okay, yeah, I'm thinking from like right here. Like, okay, this is actually here. I'll give you the full, like, John Wick is John Wick. The whole
Okay.
purpose of the movie is Keanu Reeves does cool stuff. Look at, again, super in control,
Mm-hmm.
unstoppable guy. You get the gist. And then you get further in. He's still going. movie has immaculately shot action scenes, but you hit this point where there's that mix-up that you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's when this guy shows up.
Uh-oh.
And he suddenly starts controlling the whole tempo of the
Mm.
scene.
Yeah.
And this like never happens almost in any of the other movies.
Oh, wow. Now I'm like, oh, is John Wick gonna do it? Oh no, this is looking bad for Wick. I don't know if he can pull it out. Tension, investment, on the edge of my seat.
Wait, here it comes. And then, yep.
Big finish.
I like that scene a lot. It's
Yeah.
it's one of the only times we see him lose.
Yeah.
And it's so much more interesting than like the multiple countless fight scenes in the sequels where he's just this the whole time.
Yeah.
That's me when I have to talk about fifth edition combat. Yeah, I don't know. I just
No, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Good
it's okay.
representation of the what I'm thinking about here.
I kind of think combat is really heavily focused on the life or death scenario always, and it leads players into the thought process of any sort of combat ends with one of the parties dead. Because once the dice come out, any sort of diplomacy or otherwise goes out the window pretty much, which
Right.
always kind of irritated me.
That reminds me of gosh, it's probably been like 2 years since I watched it, but I think there was a Colville video about like hold on, what is this notification that I just got?
Is it
Oh, I got it. Hold on, I gotta submit. I forgot to submit a file to a.
to a client?
Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on.
You're gonna lose your job.
No. Just give me 1 minute here. Be right back. Okay, there we go. All good. Need the Dark Souls bar. Job saved.
Forget the website domain or I would go make it.
Yeah, so there was a Colville video, I think called "Why Are We Fighting," and the premise behind it was making combat scenarios where the goal of it is not either you kill everyone or they kill everyone. There's wanting to
Yeah.
have a objective to it, like, stop a person from pulling a lever or stealing something and
But
getting out or grabbing a bomb or something.
but you're never gonna guess what happens when combat initiates and somebody is trying to pull a lever.
Uh-huh.
The person pulling the lever is going to have to die.
Yeah.
Because this is the player, this is what the game, I think this is more a fault of the game than a fault of the
Mm-hmm.
player. The way the game is set up lures the players into believing that combat should end with their enemies being defeated, which
Mm-hmm.
typically means killed, because you have to like specifically say that you're trying to not kill them.
Yeah. There isn't, and you're right, there isn't a wrathful smite for uh non-lethal damage. There isn't a burning hands for non-lethal damage. Half of
No,
the
and
200 spells are specifically for monster killing, and one third of the core rule books is for monster killing.
yeah, and then once this is another case where I think narrative fights come in because narrative fights muddies the waters. You're never sure what kind of fight you're in
Right.
if the grid never comes out.
I think I definitely want to make a note to maybe the next time we get together and there is some kind of near combat scenario, where I might get out the grid, trying it without it, and seeing how it goes.
Yeah, you or me. I might try it if I DM.
Ooh. Ooh.
I should try DMing again, but it's so easy to not do things.
That's so true. Because I do feel like you guys have recently done a lot of great things where things could have gone into combat, and then I think you, being one of the main proponents of it, have found ways to keep it in that kind of uh, peaceful wits don't roll initiative zone of finding other ways to absolve a situation.
You mean me DMing or me as a player?
Use a player.
I try because I hate to see every single combat scenario just turn into let's stab him.
Yeah.
I don't want every guy we run across who looks at us the wrong way to be Julius Caesar. That's a we have two rogues joke. And 27 stabs is like one rotation for rogues.
Action, bonus action, extra action, haste action.
Sneak attack on all of them, by the way, because our barbarian is right next to me. Clearly, I'm being sneaky. I never understood that sneak attack is a moronic mechanic. Did I ever mention how I just hate 5e, by the way? Let's just all gather around and tell stories instead.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's always best when you can. All of the best scenarios either come from combats where you barely scrape by or combats that aren't combats.
Mm-hmm.
None of the combats that have just been combats have been things I've remembered.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah, like okay, how about the first time you guys fought the carnival puppet troupe? Do you have any memories of that one?
Well, the environment came in, didn't it? Because we were in that storage room and somebody got ran over with a carriage.
Oh, that was the second time. The first time was at the
Oh,
in the
at
big
the
crowd.
thing. Yeah. No, I don't remember now
Yeah,
very well.
I think that was just a fighting one.
That was just
Yeah.
kind of a slugfest.
Yeah, that was just a slugfest.
But I do remember somebody getting run over with a carriage. I
Yeah.
remember I think it's definitely I can't remember names unless I'm looking at people. It's definitely Teddy getting run over
Oh
with a
yeah.
carriage. Yeah. See, environment
Mm-hmm.
and it just mix it up. A little bit of mix it up.
Yeah, and I think having the
And then the
grid.
dragon
Oh,
fight.
dragon fight.
Both
Yeah.
of the dragon fights. Especially the second one. I think the second one was the best straight up combat we've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody died almost. And then I hit the dragon for 50 damage.
And he was never seen again.
He was never seen again. That's so sad. I should
Ar-
have played Doran's son.
Arrives to party, kills dragon, refuses to elaborate, high fives
I'm a
God, leaves.
yeah, I'm a paladin of the death. Walks in, causes the death, leaves.
Oh man.
I don't know. I can only imagine what D&D must be like for really roleplay heavy groups. It's either a lot of fun or it's like utterly insufferable. And I feel like there's very little in between. Do you want to just chill out and just play the game to play the game just for fun's sake? Or do you want to try to get really invested and create a deep story and then just like I don't know, that feels like it has just as much potential to go bad.
Hmm.
Did I ever mention how I hate 5e?
Hey, coming to a store near you in
6e. In
in
what?
no time at all. Uh, I have a Kickstarter campaign.
Sorcery.
Sorcery, the
Tabletop
sorcery.
RPG plus 5.5 beta.
Yes.
Wow. Here it is.
Look at this. Wow. Look at all
Look.
these spells.
Pop. Pop wall, yes. Isn't that the Rice Krispies? Where's sus? There
There's
it is.
sus.
Sus.
This.
Imagine all the people who came to Jerma's stream to watch the Among Us guy, the imposter is sus guy play Among Us, and seeing that he has a sus bot and thinking that that's just part of his shtick.
It's so sad that that happened. History being erased. There's never been a bad session of this rule set.
That's absolutely, without a doubt, unequivocally true.
Now, has there been a session at all? We'll leave that up to the historians to describe. Just decide.
Discern, decide,
Lucerne, Switzerland.
Lucerne, the hammer halberd from Dark Souls, Dark
Yo.
Souls 2, Dark Souls
Clash of
3,
Bang.
Demon Souls, Elden Ring,
Yeah.
Kingdom Come Deliverance. Probably. I've never played it. Demon Souls Remake, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Well, yeah. What have we learned?
What do we learn? We've learned
We learned anything?
Jackie Chan is the greatest video game character of all time.
Jackie Chan is an 8. That's all I know. Everything is an 8. Except Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, but if we do have a situation where we have a more, haven't rolled initiative yet, unsure if this is just a straight combat to the death, no grid, can definitely see scenarios where things like using, phantasmal force and, enthrall and uh, charm person and disguise self and jump and Tensor's floating disc might be more interesting in a creative way than deciding between lightning bolt and lightning arrow.
Or
Shatter.
maybe somebody is like, let me pick up a stool and hit him on the head. And instead of being like, oh, that's a 1d4 damage, you just be like, you hit him on the head. Like, that hurt.
Yeah. Why can't it be that? Why can't it be, oh, my head, that hurts?
Yeah, that's part of the issue I always run into. I understand why the rules in D&D exist, but I also always feel like I would rather just like narrate a story, and then when people try things, I'm God, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's pretty big. I don't think the stool really affects him all that much.
Yeah. I mean, that could work. That could, I feel like
That's
you hit
what I always
somebody,
wanted.
right? I describe this person, and then you're like, okay, hit him on the head with a stool. Like, you don't need to roll if it's like a feeble old man. You can describe what happens, and if it's a mountain man,
As long as you're level-headed, as long as you're fair, as long as you're not like he dodges, he shoots you with a fireball, you burn. As long as you're not
an
the kid on
hour
the
and 20
playground nobody
minutes.
wanted to play with.
We're gonna spend an hour and 21 minutes until somebody gets to 0 hit points because of this.
He's got an armor class of 30. What does that mean? False. Have I? Why don't you think about this? Uh, oh no. Where is it? My window for this joke to land is closing.
Why don't you think about this?
Why don't you think about this?
Yes, yes.
Please hit this man for 0 hit points. Hit him for infinity of them.
Wizards of the Coast have played us for absolute fool. Yeah, the third one here is very appropriate for our situation. Oh my
I
gosh,
love this image. I keep this saved
it's so good.
just for a good laugh occasionally. It's saved right next to its brother. Yes, I love my moveset of 13 downward swings. Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked the idea of just being a purely narrative game, but I feel like people like numbers, and it's hard to get like a tangible grasp on where the game is if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have any sort of basis. Because at the end of the day, I really do think I would like to just do a narrative game, but the rule set for D&D was meant to play D&D.
Mm-hmm.
So it ends up feeling more like an obstacle than a rule set to jump off of for me.
Yeah.
So that's probably my problem more than anything. But it's the game's fault. Game sucks.
I just yeah, after all these years, it still feels like there's something we can do.
I before my eyes were open and I was disillusioned with the reality that we live in, I adored AI Dungeon because it gave me exactly what I wanted from a narrative experience. It gave
Yeah.
me no rule set. It gave me sometimes practical outcomes to problems.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no like basis. There was no you have 0 hit points left, you lose. There was
Yeah.
just like this happens. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
how do I react to this?
It
It was one of my favorite experiences ever playing a video game.
it was such the close experience of like it being like dreaming but having control over the dream.
It was a never-ending choose your own adventure book
Yeah.
with the infinite options. And
And then AI got too good, and
AI,
it's only good when it
I
was funny.
it was always bad. I just wasn't aware of why it was bad.
Yeah.
I was what's the term? What's the term? Wait, I was unenlightened.
Unenlightened. Yeah.
I was a maggot crawling around in the mud,
And I still remember.
unaware that the mud was secretly full of stolen copyrighted materials from
Yeah.
authors who don't get paid anything.
I still remember that first time you showed me the image generator, and it was just like the most messed up, like barely
Yeah.
feasible image. I was like, oh, it's kind of cool, and there's like colors, and now,
Then
now it's now it's just horrible.
now we've gotten to the meat of it. We've gotten to the purpose
Yeah.
of it. It's who knows?
I do still feel like there could be something in there for you, right? Because we were able to do so many sessions without a true combat encounter that I feel like if you wanted to do a narrative thing, you could focus mostly on like the skills, um,
Yeah.
skill
But then I
checks,
have problems
items.
with the skills.
Oh, you do?
Well, yeah, because I was just talking, and like every class needs a reliable talent. Why would a rogue ever? Why would like a bard, or let me think of a better example. Why would a ranger ever have trouble tracking something unless the
Mm-hmm.
thing that the ranger is trying to track is deliberately attempting to not be tracked?
Yeah.
There should be less of a role for nature to track and more of a role for the thing that's trying to get away to avoid getting tracked.
Mm. I guess you could do manipulation of the difficulty class and even explicitly state like for you you're such a good ranger at this, or depending on the situation of what you're going up against for the challenge, explicitly saying that it's a lower DC or a higher DC.
But like, why would it ever come unless the thing is trying to go? There's no reason. There's no reason ever. Inclement weather and the thing, and see, this is what I'm talking about. This is logical cases in which the skill would not function that the game doesn't really account for. It kind of leaves it up to you. Like, oh, it's raining, I'll raise the difficulty class a little bit. But then
Mm-hmm.
it's not raining, and it's like, oh, the difficulty class is 5, and the ranger rolls a 3. Like, why is the ranger suddenly having trouble doing the thing that they train their whole life for?
Yeah.
Make the difficulty class 1, and then the ranger rolls a 1, and it's kind of funny, but like, why did that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got issues. I got problems with.
But
I understand that you can't sweet talk everyone as a bard. That makes
mm-hmm.
sense to me. I'm like, yeah, persuasion needs a role, and people who are less persuadable need higher difficulty classes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you do just like blurt out the wrong thing. That all makes sense. But why like a rogue? I don't even remember all the skills. Let me look it up. 5e skills.
There has been
5e
this.
skills.
Oop, there has been the thing I've been
No.
doing recently of if someone rolls very low, it's not the character's fault. If it's something they're good at, it's something that happened in the environment.
Yeah.
Like if you're tracking something and you do roll a 1, trying to creatively think of a reason why it happened. Like uh this is where the creativity comes in.
This is where turn it on like a faucet. But like, okay, athletics. Why is that a skill? Hear me out. Why is athletics a skill? Why doesn't every character just have a set fitness and a set amount of rest until they start to get exhausted?
Well,
And it's
you
like,
don't,
oh, I mean, yeah, you're pretty well rested. You're a warrior, so like you're fit. You can
mhm.
definitely run for the next like 3 miles if you need to.
You don't want the level 15 barbarian to not be able to push the boulder, but a level 2 cleric is able to push it with a natural 20.
Doesn't make any sense. Cleric has Thunderwave, doesn't need to push it. Cleric needs to use their brain. I don't want the barbarian to barbarians kind of get the short end of the stick anyway because they are all like combat. You punch, punch, get angry, take less damage, etc.
Yeah.
And 5e sucks. Yeah, let me change the room. Let me change the room description. I hope somebody, I don't actually, but it would be really funny, I think, if somebody in our group is watching our call and then it changes from the 5e magic system is perfect to
What is
5e sucks.
something must have happened in that. Oh man.
Why do we need rules? Why not just narrative consistency and logical outcomes? You need somebody who's unbiased, impartial, willing to accept things that they weren't thinking could happen in their story and can quickly adapt on the fly. It's very simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is like the idea and it can happen, right? Like, let's see, how much was 5e involved in that great sequence of stealing the tome, right? Checking into the hotel, role playing it.
It was involved in that it told us that there was a spell which we could shapeshift, and it told us that fairies can fit into slots that are 1 inch tall.
Yeah. And then also
That's
changelings disguising as the guy. So really uh racial attributes.
yeah. Yeah, that's fair. But see, like this could all just be written on a sheet of paper. Like you can shapeshift. Here you go.
Yeah.
Use it. And then you as like the problem then really just lies with the author. It no longer is a game so much as it is a guided adventure. And if your
Uh-huh.
guide isn't up to snuff, then it's not going to be fun for anyone. 5e at least gives the chance that like even if the game just even if the session just sucks and nobody has any fun, it's like it's that slog that Koval talks about.
Yeah.
At least there's a little bit of a chance that like you're gonna see the numbers on your page go up,
Yeah.
and that's fun for a lot of
I'm gonna
people.
go up.
People like numbers. I remember my favorite quote from Mr. Rogers was, I think he said, Mr. Rogers, apparently I can't find it. Anyway, Mr. Rogers said something like, "We're so obsessed with numbers in this world. That's, we need to get away from that or something." I don't remember his exact wording. He was Mr. Rogers. He said we got too much numbers. That's what he said.
Yeah, I feel you though. I feel you about the numbers. I totally feel you about the
Balatro.
numbers. I totally feel
Yeah,
you. I totally
this is
feel
you. You're the reason.
Numbers going up.
This-
Look at this. Look at these numbers. 7766,
Oh my gosh.
292. Oh. One number.
This is just, yeah, this is a numbers game.
Oh, you don't like math? Oh, look at this number. Ooh, 5 number. Oh, I can't buy
All
it because I
this
don't have enough
screen
number.
shake. This is such a zoomer game. Look at the numbers go up. Look at the screen shake. Oh, the bouncy cards. Oh my gosh, trading cards. I get to open up my Pokemon packs. I hope I get Charizard.
Yeah. Really, I think like I'm not even sure if there was a role for. There might have been like 1 or 2 persuasion rolls during that stealing the book sequence, but most of it was just the player's ideas and me deciding how the environment would logically react to it.
There was a deception roll
Right, yeah.
on the part of the disguisee. Or no, the disguiser.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a deception roll with advantage. And I kind of feel like a lot of the time, unless it's like a very, very specific and niche scenario, when you're rolling with advantage, it kind of just boils down to this roll will succeed.
Yeah.
The chances the chances were like you have a 15% chance of failing, which is pretty high, versus you roll with advantage and now you have like a 7% chance, which is negligible. This is gambler's mentality.
I think it is a little bit, right? Because in that scenario, the motivation to do that is I imagine it's a scenario where there is kind of a feeling of if I just said, yep, they believe you, then that might feel like they're just getting away with something without it being a real challenge. And so even if it's like a really small chance of not happening, that role might give some feeling of realness to the situation, and that it's not just okay, that happens and okay, good, moving on what I did. You know what I mean?
This is when you fudge every dice roll. Oh, he's rolling an insight check. He failed. And then you got a 20 on behind your DM screen. I don't think do you remember that session that we played with when we were just one-shotting everything and we were coming up with it all on the fly? I think Luke was there for that one. I think it was like years ago.
Was that in Gatlinburg or was that in the?
It was here.
It was here. Okay.
It was Luke and then the normal group, and it wasn't when TJ was there.
Okay, I think I remember.
Because like you did a short game and then you were like, I'm out of material, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can run one. And I scribbled some stuff on a piece of paper and got a game out of it.
Yeah. Was that the one? I think mine was like there was a soap cave. Was that there? Is that? Am I remembering that right?
That sounds familiar. Because then mine was like the ink castle, the ink fort. It was also underground, I think. I don't know. I remember. I don't think I genuinely quoted a single dice roll that entire game. I
No.
think I just basically fudged everything for narrative significance, and everybody was like, "This was a great game."
Yeah. I feel like that really works.
Like, at what? I don't know. You have to. I feel like it's almost narcissistic, but you're not really saying you're better than anything. You're saying you're better than a random chance that something uninteresting will happen.
Yeah. Okay, do you
And I
remember
hope you are.
do you remember the Colville video? I'm remembering all these Colville videos I haven't thought of in a year. Um the one about the Kriegspiel.
That sounds so familiar, but I cannot place it in context.
So the Kriegspiel was a German war game that had incredibly complex charts to determine the
Yes.
outcomes of movements. Um, and the best referees for the game were people who were actual people in the army and who controlled actual troops. And like they made a career in their kind of post-military career of being referees and highly respected referees for rich people playing the game. Um,
Yeah.
and eventually someone like interviewed one of them and learned like, how do you keep track of all these charts? It seems so difficult to keep all the numbers straight. And he's like, I don't use any of the charts. I know what would happen. It's like that amount of army is flanking that from this position. Like I know that's gonna do this. And like no dice, no nothing. It's just two people like doing their war game armies around, and then the person with experience and fairness is like, yeah, I think that's how this would go.
Yeah.
I think it was like a fudging dice rolls game, and he was using that story to demonstrate that fudging dice rolls is to make realistic scenarios.
If the it's yeah, it removes the chance that reality ceases to be reality as like documentary. I'm silhouetted and my name is obscure as that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's failing rolls and hitting natural 20s when you shouldn't are both like, I mean, because like rolls can also lead to a lot of just really funny stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like my favorite, I didn't even play it, but like my favorite moment I think I've ever seen in a D&D game with the roll system was when Scanlan and Grog were trying to open a door and they both just like failed 7 rolls in a row.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, Scanlan's bleeding everywhere and Grog has like a mild concussion and the door is still closed. And then somebody just walks on the other side of it and opens it.
That
Like
is
that's a
really good.
great sequence.
Yeah. I think that could be a good argument for when you do fail rolls, making it so it's not an immediate failure and it just being like the scenario changes somewhat, or um like kind of a, I think it's like called failing forward, where it's like, oh, Indiana Jones failed his dexterity check and he slips off the bridge. Oh, but wait, he's holding on. Holding on to the rope. Now what does he do? And it's an opportunity to be creative. Like, oh, we failed at unlocking the door. Now we got to be creative in a different way to do it. We failed at
Yeah.
tracking this person by their steps. We got to think of a new way to try to find them.
That's a good way to look at it, think about it, to ponder it. But how else do you do it? This is what I think D&D needs to be less. I don't think it needs to be less necessarily. I just think that it needs to be less on the forefront so that when people come in and play it, they don't see only like what they're given. Like, here's your 20 skills. And then
Mm-hmm.
they immediately box in all of their thought processes
Yeah.
to, I need to rely on one of these skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the difference
We,
between thinking like it's a very different mental experience if you're describing a situation in a dungeon and you're imagining the dungeon and your surroundings and thinking of how you can do it, versus getting the situation and then looking to your character sheet for which of your skills has the highest bonus and trying to think of a way to reverse engineer or something you can do with one of those.
Yeah, not like, ooh, can I look at the walls? It's like, mm, let me roll perception. Like, what are you looking for? Oh, something
Yeah.
interesting.
NPC said
I,
something. Can I roll
yeah.
insight? What are you trying to glean? You know.
I want to glean his intention. Okay. Whatever. Why don't instead we just play the campaign for North Africa?
Ah, yes.
Have you heard of it?
Isn't it like the extremely long board game?
Yeah. It says if you and your group meets for 3 hours at a time, twice a month, you would wrap it up in roughly 20 years.
How is it created? How did they play test it?
Oh, what's funny about the fact that you just asked that? I read a little bit about it. Apparently, somebody sent a letter to the designers and was like, I find that this aspect of the game is unrealistic. And the designers were like, well, we'll let you know what we think if we ever get to it. We're still playing our first campaign.
Estimated playtime of 1,500 hours.
Yeah.
Heck?
Another one of their favorite responses was they said if they've gotten letters from people who have finished the game and they've been like, this really didn't make any sense towards the end. And the designer's response is always, well, you should probably play it again just to make sure.
You need to repeat your experiment, get a bigger sample size.
That's the game where the buzz term that people like to throw around always is that everything is so realistic that if you're playing Italy, you have to provide your troops with extra water because your rations come in the form of pasta. And you also have to develop gas caps to calculate the evaporation of gasoline within a tank.
Oh my gosh, I just know there are some people out there that have been waiting to play a game like that. Finally,
Well,
realism.
yeah, when are we going to start it? I've got 20 years, maybe. Why isn't D&D more like the campaign for North Africa? Why aren't I don't why aren't there logistics problems? Like, yeah, but have you considered the fact that since you went through a dimensional door and you traveled through time 200 years, the water in your canteen evaporated, and now since you've made camp without drink, you're suffering from exhaustion because you're dehydrated. Narrative would also maybe make logistics problems more fun. I love the little stuff, I think. I think more than most people do when they think about playing D&D. Because most people probably think of D&D like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get loot, kill monsters, play characters, meet wacky NPCs, stuff like that. And I'm like, gee, I really like the clip where Matthew Koval mentions that like one of the dungeons that his players went into had a reward of 200 gold at the end, but it was in silver pieces. So they suddenly had this whole like, how do we move
Yeah.
2,000 silver pieces outside of a tomb?
I feel you so much on that. Those little things that can only happen in D&D. Like that's the joy of it. Those little details like that.
What are we gonna do with 2,000 silver coins?
Yeah, That's
And then
a
you have this
yeah.
big logic problem to solve. But then, like, again, in the context of D&D, that boils down to, can I shove it in a bag and then roll a strength check to see if I can lift the bag?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you can't. You lift it, you failed your, and then the next person, can I roll a strength check?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can roll. You
Mm.
failed to. Can I roll a strength check? Okay, I can do it. Okay, cool. Lift the bag. I don't care.
I
Going to bed.
I gotta be
It's in
right
the
back.
middle of the game.
But I wanna pick
Okay.
off right here with the gold bag. I mean silver
Okay.
bag.
Okay.
But
I mean,
I gotta
here,
be right back.
I'll write it in the Steam
All right,
chat so
good,
I remember.
good.
This big logistic problem of
Mm-hmm.
like, how do we move all the gold? Whatever gold. I don't remember where we were.
We were
Uh,
little details
yeah,
that
little
make D and
detail.
D great. I think I might even have like a doing my duty. Um,
Okay.
my solemn duty.
Gotta take more medicine to one shoulder, Larry.
Um, I think I had I have a lot of scattered D and D notes across many Google Docs. I think one of them
Wild.
has a list of little things like that.
My D&D notes are all in my head or in a OneNote document. And mostly the OneNote document is just a big list of fantasy-ish names that I can pull out if I ever run out of character names. Thank you, Matthew Mercer, for saying you really just need to make a big list of character names that you can pull out.
Hmm. Let's see. So like, oh, are you gonna watch some TV? Okay. I got to move real quick, but I will be shortly back. I'm going to mute myself and be back in approximately 2 minutes.
You guys playing the game? Only too many. Only one hand to do it.
What's that?
When I eat, the pizza was okay, but I think when I eat, I'm gonna have to be over there.
Mm.
I can't hold the bowl. But
Welcome. It'll have to do. I'm right there, you know. I'm at the throne. Everybody knows the struggle of trying to unlock Crown of Blood on your favorite character.
Struggle continues.
I think you cut off, so all you said was we.
And as we know, the struggle continues.
Struggle does continue until it's over. Nuclear Throne, fun fact. When is the struggle over? Not fun fact. I mean trivia.
The third loop. The third throne.
What?
The third throne.
The third throne?
Yep.
Like you loop twice and then kill the throne?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Dang it.
It's actually when you kill the secret boss.
Oh, of course. The chair.
Did you say the chair?
The chair.
Okay, for a second I thought you said the sheriff, and I was like, how did you know? You actually killed the boss of the IDPD,
Oh.
and then the game hits you with the struggle is over,
Oh, wow.
and hits you with the secret victory screen and Rogue's B skin if you're playing as Rogue.
Nice.
So I forget where we were. I think we were talking about little stuff, and you said you had millions of notes in Google Docs, and then you said, "Are you watching
Right,
TV?
yeah.
I have to go."
Right, yeah. I was looking up my doc of, well, trying to find it, because I feel like I've written down a bunch of stuff like that I like, and then my dad decided to be up for a little bit, so he's gonna watch some CTV, and I gotta move.
Wait, oh, you're like in the living room?
Yeah.
That's weird. Why are you there?
In case he needed me,
In case
he
he
could
needs
just
you.
holler over.
That's true. What a good son. Taking
I-
care of your dad with only one shoulder.
I don't have this mug for nothing.
World's greatest shoulder caretaker.
Okay. Let's see. I'm like quickly parsing through piles of text. I really one day I'm gonna sort and file
Today I'm gonna
my
get my
notes.
life worked out.
One day my life is gonna. Okay, that is
Oh my
not the one.
god. Dude, this game's hard. Who made this? And why did they make it so hard?
I think it was a polar bear that made it.
It's such a sadness to know that there will never be another Blambeer game.
Mm.
It's such a sadness to know that I can't stop quoting. It's such a sadness. From an interview where David Lynch was asked how he felt about people watching movies on their iPhones. It's a great interview because you can just hear, as he goes on, you can hear more and more venom in his voice. He starts out with like, these phones have been coming up forever, and then he's like, but it's such a small screen. And then he's like, it's such a sadness that anybody thinks that you've ever seen a movie on your censored phone. The whole like the polite veneer of doing an interview just slowly fades away the more he thinks about it. Found it while I was looking for the clip that Vinny always quotes where he says, "Now I need you to crawl around on the floor like a little baby." He's talking to a kid. And he's like, "I need you to crawl around on the floor for me like a little baby. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me, Nathan? I need you to crawl around like a little baby and cry. I need you to crawl around like a little baby. Can you crawl around like a baby, Nathan?" And he just keeps going.
I found the Halloween one shot I made for last
The
Halloween.
murder, well, yeah, not a murder mystery, but I did picture the Clue mansion the entire time we played it. I think one shots might be the future, you know? Who needs 3 years to play a character that you might not even like after a couple months? Why not just make a new character for 3 hours every single time?
This post made by
This post made by,
new game Elden Ring gang.
yeah, like this post made by, I have 800 hours in Elden Ring and 755 of those are in the character creator.
I can't. I was hoping there would be like a big list of stuff somewhere that I imagined existed, but the best I have is a few things I've gathered from different places.
These like story ideas or like gripes with the indie.
These are little things like the the bunch of silver and the being at a door for 10 minutes until you're bloody, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. Okay, now I wrote these in very small text.
You don't have to say that to me. I know you.
I just need to remember what I was referring to in some of these.
I wrote these in 3-point font. And then saved it as a JPEG. And then uploaded it to Reddit and downloaded it a dozen times. Just to really crank that lossy compression effect. What's everybody's favorite lossy compression image format, by the way?
Probably have to say FLAC, FLAC.
Black, not an image format, not lossy. You have failed. FLAC is uncompressed audio files. It's like the highest quality of digital music you can get your hands on.
Good thing that's what all my files are.
FLAC?
Yep.
Like your music files?
Yep. I got my
That you,
Joanna Newsom and FLAC.
off the CD?
Nope.
No, yeah, I was gonna say.
I got my who do I have on FLAC? I've got my I got my I got my Ote Oni on FLAC. I've got my I got my Katie Day on flack.
Katie Day. You're thinking of Katie Lang. He was a music guy. I don't know what he did. I just know there's a joke in Psych where Sean goes, "Oh my God, I look like Katie Lang." And I was like, I'm sure that'd be funny if I knew who that was. That's how much confidence I have in that show.
I got my Joni Mitchell on flack. Got
Joni
my
Mitchell.
Haley Hendrix on flack. I got my Electric Masada on flack.
Of course, Electric Masada. I haven't thought about that band in like 3 days. I was actually very recently thinking about Electric Masada for some reason. I was thinking about that clip of him doing the circular breathing,
Yeah.
and I was like, why can't I do that? Dear Lord, my time has come. Never mind. We're good. Cops showed up and almost backed me into a corner and arrested me. But luckily I'm a professional killer.
Oh, this is going back. I made these notes a while ago because they're from when I watched Critical Role.
That
Something.
is quite a while ago, actually. Yeah.
One of them was they went to like a desert city, and Scanlon, for whatever reason, was convinced that he wanted to get drugs. So there was this while they were doing like the main plot, there was just like they would go meanwhile back at the ranch and Scanlon is out there like trying to get drugs. Um and the whole situation is that he gets tricked and gets sold a bunch of steak seasoning that he thinks is drugs. Right. And there's no roles happened at all. There wasn't persuasion, there wasn't deception. There was just him interacting with NPCs and eventually setting up a meeting where they have like this grand, like, oh, this is the good stuff, right? Yep. And he just totally believes it. And then he brings it back and finds out it's
It's
steak seasoning.
That's pretty. That's like peak Critical Role stuff. That's Matthew Mercer having fun and everybody playing along.
Mm-hmm. Another one was with a actual monster that led to a combat scenario, but it was a interesting thing where the Rakshasa disguised as an ally and then tricked a character to take him on a walk and then kill him. I guess that doesn't sound very interesting secondhand the way I'm describing it.
It Rakshasha, the demon katana guy from Elden Ring. Anyway, 5e is pretty good, I guess.
Maybe. Sometimes. Well,
Um,
this has been a good discussion. I've
A
been
real meeting of the minds tonight.
I'm really glad I was really excited today to do this. Get your golden thoughts.
Golden thoughts. The golden thoughts. Yeah, it's always interesting. It's been a long time since we've talked D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've done it again, I'll see you in 3 months when we start our campaign for North Africa game.
Yeah, I want to like save like the 30 minutes of you talking about narrative and stuff in the middle of this. I want to like re-listen to that as a podcast and or as a like a college lecture and take notes and like write an essay on it and then like discover a new branch of science.
The part where I said we should just get together and have a big choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, that part.
Ah, yeah, maybe. Maybe we should just. No, we can't do it. It feels so strange. I feel like it would be really weird to sit down and be like, okay, guys, today we're not going to play D&D. I'm going to tell you a story and you're going to interact with it. That feels weird, right?
Yeah. I
How do
guess
you
so.
keep anybody present? I mean, honestly, though, it's not like we have an easy time keeping people present with D&D either.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the problem is the people. We need to cut out everyone, including ourselves, and just watch Critical Role.
Yeah, I'll just say, you ever do feel like giving something a try, giving a one shot a try, doing some experiments, um, I'm ready and willing to help you out on that any way I can. Even if it's just being a silent player, I'm sure you would learn a lot doing it once after a lot of thinking about it. Purely
It could be
supportive.
great. Could turn out to be the worst experience either of us have ever had.
I've been at some, really bad sessions, and my life has forever been ruined by it.
I was born at a bad D&D session. Has been downhill ever since. Or uphill. I don't. They're used interchangeably
Yeah, it's all uphill
for
from
some
here.
messed
It's
up
all
reason.
downhill from here.
It's all uphill from here. Oh, some more effort? Nope. It's all downhill from here. Oh, so it's easier? Nope. And that changes by it's like counterpart, man. That English. Hang on, let me change the room status one more time.
Oh, good.
Oh, the word counterpart. One that closely resembles another, or one that is a complete opposite. As in, you have a counterpart, or you have a counterpart. Well, I don't really know where else to go with this, if anywhere.
I feel like we've gotten a lot though.
We got quite a bit out of this.
Yeah, very very happy.
What we didn't get was money. So I feel like we need to adapt our strategy next time.
Dang it.
How are we supposed to ever enjoy conversation if we aren't stacking paper while we do it? This is why you start a podcast. We discuss D&D and Elden Ring lore. And then I get an excuse to bring out this image again.
You know, I was out on my walk thinking about this image. Do you know the comedic character Philomena Kunk?
No. Wait, why is that like the first result for when I type PHI? Oh, yeah. I know this.
I was imagining like the blatant misinformation Elden Ring with a character like this.
Yeah, I've seen clips of this, but I've never watched a whole lot of it.
Pretty funny stuff.
I'll have to look into it.
Adults lose the ability to see Father Christmas. Who are you?
I'm Archie, who are you?
Philomena. Have you ever met Father Christmas?
Let me check my
I have.
Elden Ring
Where
notes,
did
see
you
if I
meet
wrote
him?
I
anything
met
down, so we can
him
just completely derail everything.
next to Westfield.
And what was he doing there? Was he shopping or something?
I think,
No.
I'm not quite sure if Father Christmas is rich.
I don't think he is.
How did he get all the presents in, like, lots of times? Like,
I think he just shoplifts.
okay.
Do you think Father Christmas has ever met Batman
In my opinion, Batman's not real.
after Brexit?
Yeah, he'll still be allowed in the country.
Well, I wish I owned Balatro for long enough to launch it and stream it as a joke. And then I instantly refund it.
Is the demo still available?
Is there a Balatro demo?
I played the demo.
There is no demo. It's gone.
Dang it.
Everybody knows. Like, you know, before you even buy it, you know from looking at the screen. I feel like that, like, you're either gonna like it or you're not.
Oh hey, I have Balatro. I can stream it as a joke.
No, it won't be the same because I was gonna like make the worst play ever, and then it would be funny.
Balatro.
Here it is, Balatro. Whoa.
Balatro.
How do I take your cards?
All right, wait. I'm giving you the psychic link to the mouse.
Okay,
Okay.
put the 10 on the other 10.
Okay.
What a shame. Garbage video game. Hang on, let me change the room status real quick.
One by one, our enemies fall.
How are they ever gonna come back from me changing the room status? A nice argument you have there. Unfortunately, I have put your name in the room status and then added the ending word to be sucks.
No. Well, I guess it might be too late now to play a game.
We did talk for like 3 hours
Oh my gosh,
almost
that's
about
crazy.
D&D stuff.
They were very important conversations.
No, wait, we talked for 2.5 hours, roughly, about D&D stuff.
I'm so glad I went through the entire player's handbook spell list and organized all the spells.
It was so worth it, thinking about all the things that happened just now within the past 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm. Because now I gotta stew on the new information, and then finally find the golden bullet that fixes everything.
The golden. I can't ever hear the word golden ever again.
New mod for Elden Ring just dropped, replaces every sound file of gold with the gold.
Those stripped of the golden grace shall all meet death. Hey, I'm just gonna say, no.
Oh, it's on sale.
I don't know if you've thought about it after having played Left 4 Dead. I don't remember if I've brought it up to you since then, but I figured since you've played Left 4 Dead 2, maybe you'd be like, this looks interesting. But if it still doesn't interest you at all, don't worry about it.
I think Left 4 Dead might have done a number on me.
The best game of all time did a number on you.
I gotta
Who could
be.
have
Hold
seen
on.
this coming?
My alarm just went off. I gotta go. Do some medicine exchange.
I'll be right back as well.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you're back yet, but I am.
Hey, it's me.
You back?
Hey.
Back.
My gosh, you can be a dwarf with a witch hat? This changes everything.
It's a pretty fun game. It's only $10. It's refundable for the first 2 hours after you buy it, so there's really no risk. And you're gonna love this. This game is 3 gigabytes. Delightfully devilish deep rock.
Don't mind if I do. This is like the 5th time now
What is it?
that I'm gonna say, like, I'll sleep on it.
You're like, I've got a week.
It is. I will keep it in mind. You just hear, nope, nope. I swear. I will mull this over.
I will mull it over. Don't worry about it. I bet you're over there. I bet you're too busy playing like web fishing to buy this game.
Web fishing?
Do you play web fishing?
No. What's
It's a game
web
where you
fishing?
fish as bootleg Animal Crossing characters.
Oh. Yeah, how many gigabytes does that take up?
Or it's actually bigger than Deep Rock somehow. I don't quite get it because I'm looking at it right now.
It
There's
doesn't
no
seem
way
like-
this needed to be 4 gigabytes.
Oh, looks like there's about 40 polygons in total.
Look at screenshots from Deep Rock Galactic and keep in mind that game is 3 gigabytes, and then go look at web fishing and keep in mind that it's 30% larger.
Yeah.
Lame developers, right? This is why instead of buying Deep Rock, instead of doing anything, you gotta go play Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's free. No, it's Counter-Strike 2 now. I forgot they updated it. Counter-Strike 2. It's free. It's only 85 gigabytes. What?
What?
Wait,
Way.
what did Valve do? It's 85 gigs now.
How is that possible?
What? Counter-Strike Go was like 15 gigabytes, I think.
When did Valve become an American developer?
I don't believe this. Valve has actually, like, Left 4 Dead 2 was borderline unplayable on launch for like 90% of the people who could buy it because most computers just couldn't run it.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I just found something in the store. Another game on sale.
Oh my gosh, here we go. What is it? Let me see it.
I think I've just been convinced to buy a game that you've recommended to me.
Oh yeah. I really figured it would be Slay the Spire.
All I have to do
Oh
is
yeah, Slay the
buy Balatro again and get both.
Buy it again. Give it to me so that I can launch it for a joke and then never play it again. Slay the Spire is on sale though, if you were thinking about it. And that is a game that you would almost certainly like because you like card games and RPGs, and that's both. So, you know, it's like 2 games in one.
2 games in
Plus, it's
one.
only 1 GB of space.
Oh my gosh.
Together, you can buy Slay the Spire and Deep Rock Galactic and take up the same amount of gigabytes as web fishing. What is that? That's like, so instead of Elden Ring, you could have like 21 copies of web fishing. No, you could have you could have 17 copies of web fishing. Oh, that does remind me. Do you even have Elden Ring installed anymore?
I do. I do.
How did your Dark Souls 3 gameplay go?
It was nice. I mostly wanted it for the atmosphere, but I had a good time. I just went through Gundyr into Bort.
It felt strange to me in a way I can't really explain.
Yeah, I was thinking about you saying that. For whatever reason, for me, I felt like I slotted right back into the old movement in physics. I just kept trying to press jump and it didn't work.
I felt like the camera was being strange, even though everything was exactly the same with my sensitivity and everything. It just felt weird, like looking around.
Mm-hmm. I didn't notice it personally. For data
Good.
purposes.
What a game. All these Dark Souls games. What games? What a games.
Yeah, loading, getting into Firelink Shrine and just going around to all the NPCs in there and listening to all their dialogue. That was great. Love that.
Just asking, talking. Ashen. Welcome. Yeah, I miss Firekeeper and Elden Ring. I wish Melina showed up for more than 3 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but they're done with Elden Ring and they're never making another one again. You know, one thing I noticed about Elden Ring?
Not enough people laugh
Elden Ring
at
is
the
like,
end of their sentences.
uh, you say no people laugh?
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough for sure. Definitely not Bloodborne, where everyone all the time, except for like Gilbert. Um, the game has like 100 bosses in it, and there's only like one actual secret boss. It feels like.
Elden Ring?
Yeah, right? Like I'm talking a truly secret boss, and that isn't just found by like you explore a cave and you find a boss at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously a boss, but then like I feel like the only truly secret boss is like Placiduous X. And everyone else is kind of you just go to an area and you know like you go down the path in the area and find the boss eventually.
Mm. Yeah, I guess for Placiduous X, he might be the only like physical space exploration that's not a cave major boss to find. And then a lot of the other hidden bosses are locked behind quests to get to areas. Fortis
Tiche.
X,
Oh yeah.
Tiche technically counts, yeah. Astel, along with Tiche, Melania.
You can fight Astel without doing Arnie's quest.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
He just turns into the boss at the end of the Lake of Rot. But like you don't really have to go, it doesn't feel like you have to go out of your way for a lot of them. Because like you're gonna be exploring the areas anyway. I feel like Placiduous X is the only one where it's like you really have to go off the beaten path to find that whole boss.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's also like it's a spot that everyone who completes the game has to pass, but it's just that one tiny ledge that if you're not checking everything, you're never gonna know is there.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it because of Madeir. I started thinking about the DLC. Madeir and Ligarius are like so crazy hard to find and out of the way. And the closest thing we really get is Placiduous X. It kind of reflects the design principles though. Like players should be rewarded for exploring, not for rolling into walls.
Yeah. I wish there was a way to practice the kind of DMing um right the fun aspect of D&D we've been talking about. But it really is purely something that has to happen in a cooperative environment. Like I can't.
Like storybook DMing.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like writing a book isn't the same thing because you have to kind of use different muscles to creatively improvise to scenarios that the players create with you.
I think Colville talked about that, didn't he, once? He was like, I don't come to D&D to tell you a story. I come to D&D for your interaction. If I just
Yeah.
wanted to tell a story, I would write a novel,
Mm-hmm.
which I've done. Go buy your rat catchers on Amazon.
By the way. Yeah. Because I'll find myself sitting around getting in the mood for something D&D related, and right, doing combat by yourself isn't fun. And you can sort of kind of work something out, but story-wise, but often it doesn't really work super well on your own.
Yeah. It doesn't really sound like a good time to me. Controversial take. Solo D&D is not fun. This is like playing single player Mario Party. Although, I mean, like they say playing chess against yourself is a good way to practice.
Really? That's really, really interesting to me. If that is something people say.
I thought it was because like you'd pull out your best opening and then you figure out how to counter it. And then you figure out how to counter the counter with your own opening. That's what I heard. I don't, maybe I could be wrong. Could have just been like I'm gullible.
No, I really don't know anything about chess, but
I
that
know
kind of
about chess a little bit.
that kind of situation is something I've thought of. Um,
I know a little bit about chess.
oh yeah, I know a little bit about chess too. Yep, I know a little bit about chess.
Smokestack Lightning,
It's a great song.
Howlin' Wolf,
It's a really good song.
Smokestack Lightning. Sorry, I was too busy listening to that joke's not worth it. No. Trust me when I say it wasn't worth it.
Looking it up though, it does seem like playing against yourself in chess is a good practice strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I'd heard it from somewhere.
I want to know, right, because like DMs preparing battles, right? I've always like approximated CR numbers, even though everyone says like CR is bad and doesn't work, right? Are they like practicing with like sample their party sheets and like running tests for combats?
They're probably just playing more often.
That might be true.
There's a lot of D&D groups that can meet like once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably just had a lot of combat that was either super easy or super hard.
And then they're able to figure out the boundaries for what's good.
Yeah, then they're able to tell you that you have to play the way they play. I never even really got far enough into DMing to know how much attention I should pay to CR.
Yeah, it's definitely even the designers of CR have said that it's not great, but it's the best estimation I've had. of what power levels to use for scenarios.
Does it like undershoot or overshoot?
Um,
As a general rule, or do you
I
know? I
think
always
it's
find it.
I think it's in both directions.
I've read. I love. Like this is gonna come as a surprise to you, but I've read Mind Flayer stats, and I find it so hard to believe that one Mind Flayer can take on a party of 4 level 8 characters or level 7 characters. That seems like the Mind Flayer is just gonna get jumped.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think CR was planned out with the idea of the old kind of D&D in mind, where you're having like 5 encounters a day or more. So people are having to save their resources or already hurt.
That's fair. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they have 71 health and a 15 armor class, and I feel like a level 8 party is just gonna chew through that.
Mm-hmm.
Or a level 7 party even. It's just gonna like really like how long do you want it to live? This is why you never actually roll dice. You flub everything for dramatic effect, and your players won't care if you're good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, when are we switching to Pathfinder?
I don't know. How many gigabytes is it?
Probably a lot.
I don't even know what the differences are. What makes it different?
Um, I don't know. I've heard Pathfinder is a lot more complicated.
Hmm.
Um, the only person I've heard talk about it is Stir
Mm-hmm.
when he was making the Myriad,
Mm-hmm.
and he said D&D has a lot of weird dice rolling and modifiers, and he's like, D&D has all these pluses to your skills and everything, and then somebody asked him about Pathfinder, and he was like, Pathfinder is you'll have a stat on your sheet where it's like you get a +2 to charisma if you're talking to someone who shaved their head within the last 5 days and the moon is in retrograde. He's like, Pathfinder is way worse for that.
Oh gosh.
So I'm picturing Pathfinder as just being way more complex, but not in
Yeah.
like a necessary way. I hope eventually Stur just releases a rule set for the Myriad. He said he's planning to, but
Yeah.
I can't imagine how hard it would be.
Yeah. It does seem extremely difficult. Just one guy doing all that. Well, I guess it's a family business. His wife does the art.
His wife
Some of
does
the
the
art.
art, but he does like all of the.
Made by a single man.
Yeah. I think he said he'd release it eventually.
Only Stir can save us. Have I sent you this image?
No, that's a good image.
Oh, nice.
Don't worry, guys. They're gonna release a second DLC where Godwin is the final boss. You're gonna step up through the gate of divinity and become a god to go fight Godwin in the Death Realm. It's gonna happen, guys. They're working on it right now. Don't worry, guys. It's gonna release right after the official Bloodborne PC port that From Software themselves have a direct hand in making. It's gonna come right before the announcement that they're working on Elden Ring 2. I think it's hilarious that From Software is a company that can make an entire game about how they don't like doing sequels, and then people are still like, when are we gonna get Elden Ring 2?
Yeah.
Like, wow, Dark Souls 3 really is just a great essay about why it's okay to let things flare and burn out. Why you should appreciate life and everything while it's here and then let it fade away when it's its time to. Anyway, where's Elden Ring 2? I know this game took y'all like 7 years to make, but and then you spent 2 full years on the DLC.
Yeah.
And then nobody liked the DLC. It's such a strange thing I keep finding about the DLC. Everybody talks about the DLC like it's the best thing ever. And then it's still like somebody out there doesn't like it, but I can't find them. And I feel like half the people I've heard say the DLC is good are the ones with negative reviews on. It's a weirdly divisive piece of media.
Mm-hmm.
Radon too hard. Okay, we fixed Radon. Radon needs to be hard. Thumbs down. One thing you never want to do is From Software is make a broken boss, because then it's just a lose-lose scenario. Do you
Yeah.
keep the boss broken and keep people upset, or do you nerf the boss and keep people upset?
Yeah.
This is why we should all just be playing Deep Rock Galactic. Ghost Ship Games deserves the money. Such a great company.
Excuse me.
Use you. That's right. Well,
Well,
I don't have any topics. There's been no news on the Bloodborne PC port. I think they hit a rock
oh
recently.
no.
Not really in like that it doesn't work, just that like they're still working on trying to get effects in the game.
Hmm.
And the cloth physics aren't working right at all, which is
Oh
by far the
man.
biggest detriment to the whole experience.
Yeah. If you can't have the cloak fly straight up while you're going in an elevator, what's the point?
I think it's largely the frame rate causing issues, because physics engines are typically tied to frame rate.
Ooh.
But I mean, it's coming. People are really working on it. It's in version 0.040. No, wait, 0.4.0 beta. So it's gonna be a little bit.
Well, I'd like to thank you formally for this. I guess it's more of a I don't know, fraternal Friday. Uh, for
What does that mean?
for sophisticated Friday.
Showing comradeship brotherly. It was Fantasy Friday. We talked about
Fantasy
D&D. 2.5 hours.
I was really
So-
excited for this, and it lived up to the hype.
There you go. Really, what more can you ask for?
Yeah. The last time that happened, the Germa Among Us stream.
I wasn't excited for it, and I didn't watch it, so it did live up to the hype. I feel like we learned at least one or two things.
At least, yeah.
You know, you always try to learn at least one thing every day.
Mm-hmm. Learn one good thing every day. Forget one bad thing. That's what I always say.
That's why you don't remember anything. It's been years. You have to recall. Sad thing is I don't remember what you're supposed to remember. I always try to learn two bad things to even it out.
You know, two bad ideas in hand is worth one in the bush.
You know what they say, two bushes and the bird is worth one hand in the hand. Two hands in the with one stone is better than a bird in the bush. What did I do? Oh, I thought, wait, I did actually just want to, like, there was one slightly interesting thing. I
Ooh.
fought Radon for the first time since the DLC, like
Oh,
old
yeah.
Radon, like Radon Star Scourge.
Radon.
Yeah, and I was like, wow,
Bachelor Radon.
it feels very similar to Radon 2,
Yeah.
which I thought was cool. It feels a little different, obviously, because he does like a lot of moves that he just doesn't have, but
Mm-hmm.
you can really see how they got there.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the corkscrew move
They
where he
gave that
flies
to
up
the
in the
pig.
air. Yeah, they gave that to Gaius,
That's actually
who I
that's
wish was Dias.
well,
Yeah, anyways, Star Scourge is pretty cool. Um, I'm wondering if is Radon Promise Consort really peak Radon? Or was he stronger when he was the Star Scourge and he was holding all the stars? Like, could Promise Consort fight the stars again without Miquela's help?
hmm.
He does the meteor crash, but he only does it in phase 2 after he has Miquela with him.
Mm-hmm. And we know at some point Radon, before Star Scourge, lost to base Margit.
We know, yeah, he lost to base Market, but then Melania had to nuke Kaled. Melania was like, I better take out this golden needle, Miquela. That's the guy who lost to Margit in there.
Yeah, the March of the Halicture, I think, is only mentioned in March of Melania's armies to Caelid is only mentioned in Liurnia and Limgrave. They must have just taken a huge side route to avoid facing base market in Leyndell.
Margit and Leyndell were unbeatable. He kept the city up. It was like the only city that stayed intact and completely untouched during the shattering. I guess the Volcano Manor, which is the only time Morgott ever lost a fight. The community name that I keep hearing for Morgott is trying to find a picture, but I can't find it. I had a really applicable image on. I may have found an image that is just as good though. Now there it is. They're both web peas, so I'm just gonna send them to you. This was the first one.
Wow.
And then my favorite one, which is even better, honestly.
What's going on here? This is the most lore accurate Elden Ring art I've ever seen.
Check these out.
Oh my gosh. The essence of two characters distilled.
Man, I wish Moog never met Mikola so that we could see him pull out the Nikes in phase 2. I imagine Moog as just like a super chill and excitable guy who doesn't really have stable direction in his life before he met Mikola. Check these out. Oh, consider those my parting gifts. I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send one similar vein picture to wrap up the night on my end.
Nice. It's loading. It's loading. Loading. This is taking a little while. I don't think it's loading. It didn't load.
Ah, what if I send it again?
Oh wait, it loaded just now.
I can't undo.
Wait, maybe this is the new version. I can't tell. No, this is good. This is a good image. Um, I mean, there's so many. There's a Dark Souls a meme subreddit I go to. It has a lot of pretty good Mikola content occasionally, and then also some really bad Mikola content. Oh, I did find a kindred spirit,
Oh yeah,
actually. Yeah.
someone else who believed Ronnie to be the villain from the beginning.
No, I found this image on one of the Dark Souls subreddits.
Oh my gosh.
And that's just me every time I launch Elden Ring. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so
having me.
much. I'm so glad this happened.
I hope you took in-depth notes. This will all be on the test.
Yeah.
And I guess there's really only one thing left to do.
Oi.
You are done, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank. Good. Wait.